You know, the quickest way to really get under my skin is to sit in my face and pretend to not know something and know all along that you know all the information. Oh, that gets up underneath my skin. That really grinds my gears. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Basketball Wives. This is season 9, episode 6. And like I said, one of my bad pet peeves. It's really bad. People who pretend they don't know information when all along they know the information and they're sitting on it. Because it's another form of lying. You know, and it's a bad form of lying because, one, when people do it, either they feel like they got something that they're going to hold over your head or something they're going to use against you later, or they just really, I don't know, just they really can't be trusted and you don't need to be around them anyway. So it's kind of, it's just a bad thing, and it always is a bad situation for me. I just don't like it. I really, really don't like it. I don't like it. It grinds my gears, like I said before. Anyway, we're going to get to it. Lesson. OG. I was seeing some things here, and there were some things being said. Because now you know we got Malaysia over here, and we also have Christian over here, and they're talking to OG. Or trying to talk to OG, and she's like, I don't know. It looked like things was getting ready to go one way, and then it just switched around and started going the other way, and it started being the blame game, and she was like firing stuff out at him, and some things did get pointed out. You know, some things definitely got pointed out where I can actually say what I want to say, but none of you bitches better not say nothing to me. You know, it really got to be one of those like situations. It was kind of crazy. And then everything goes back to this colorism thing. Like she keeps piling it back on. Everything is colorist. Everything is racist. And again, like it's getting tiresome because from, you know, I've said in every review this season, yes, the monkey stuff from Evelyn, you know, that was, she can't even explain her way out of it. That was bad. It was ugly. Yeah, I don't know what Evelyn's going to do about that little situation. That's ugly. But we went into this whole thing where she was stating that you called me Godzilla. That's not racist. Godzilla is a reptile. Godzilla's a reptile. Godzilla ain't got nothing to do with being black. Godzilla ain't got nothing to do with I'm lighter skinned than you. Godzilla ain't got nothing to do with I got privilege. Godzilla has to do with what I said things were all along. Somebody called you Godzilla because they called you ugly. And ugly had nothing to do with your skin tone. Ugly had nothing to do with the fact that you had wider African American features. It had to do with the fact that whoever called you ugly didn't find you pleasing to the eye. And it had nothing to do with being black versus not being black or colorism. It had to do with uglyism. You were ugly to them. Do you realize that you are ugly to somebody? Everybody in the world. Because I know people are probably going to get geared up. I don't care. Every person in the world, myself included, there is someone who will tell you, no, you're ugly. Flat out. There won't be no, oh, well, you kind of cute, or, oh, well, maybe not, or you're just not my type. No. Every goddamn person in the world, there is somebody. And I'm just being nice by saying somebody. There's a group of people who will look at you and say, no, your ass is ugly. And to them, you're ugly. I get it in these comments all the time. Somebody will say, you're ugly. And do I argue? I'll never stand and argue with you about you telling me that I'm ugly to you. Because how do you argue that? How do you argue with a person and tell them that you're not ugly to them? You can't tell people how they feel about what they see out of their ass, and maybe to them your ass is ugly. And the key is, don't you ever sit around and feel bad about nobody telling you ugly. You know why? Because you know yourself, there's somebody in the world think that motherfucker ugly. So don't worry about it. And I know that's easier said than done, but guess what? I got mirrors all over my house. There's glass and mirror everywhere in this house. Do you understand me? Glass and mirrors. Ain't a goddamn thing that you could tell me about what I see when I look at the glass and in the mirrors. And when I look at the glass and the mirrors all around my house, or all around in your house, or wherever we are, and I look at me in my reflection, I don't never see ugly. And that's what counts. That's what counts. What you see when you look at me, that's your problem. That's not my problem. But I can't argue with you and tell you that I'm not ugly to you. I might be ugly to you. I might be ugly to you. And you just got to accept that. That's okay. But just know, while you looking at my ugly ass, I'm looking at your ugly ass laughing. Because I know that somebody in this world, this whole great big old world, don't find your ass all that aesthetically pleasing either, ugly ass. So don't worry about it. But it ain't always a color issue, and it ain't always, oh, I'm African. No, and I'm not buying that. Because I know for a fact, when I saw OG for the first time, she's not attractive to me. Period. And it don't have nothing to do with her being black. Shit, I'm black too. But I've been dragged in my comments and told that I was colorist. Because somebody looked at her and they didn't think that she wasn't not attractive. That's fine. That's fine, and I ain't arguing with you. If she look good to you, by all means, have at her. But she not good looking to me. Okay? And for you to want to now call me names, who got the problem? Again, I ain't getting ready to argue with you. Who got the problem? You want to insult me and tell me what I see out of my eyes. You the fool. You the fool. And you walking around, you so busy arguing about me, thinking that she's not attractive, that you don't even realize that somebody think your ass is ugly. Anyway, let's go. Now, how's that? How's that? That put it all into perspective for you. Now, let's move on. But she was going into the whole thing about the monkey thing and the Godzilla thing. No. Those two things don't have anything to do with each other. And some of those things that were reported, when her toe was hanging over that shoe, that ain't got a goddamn thing to do with being a monkey or being black or anybody being colorist. A toe hanging over a shoe with the toes out is foolish. It's not attractive and it's not acceptable and it looked terrible. And that's why it was filmed and it was put on the show and it was a key. Because you walked out with your fucking toes hanging over. And that don't have nothing to do with colorism. That has to do with not being able to dressism. Anyway, moving on. But when they showed that again, I said, well, them toes, I laughed at them toes too. They were horrible. They was given hot claw. That was ugly. That was ugly, and that would be ugly on anybody. That was an ugly situation. It could be the most drop-dead gorgeous woman or man in the world. If your toes is hanging out your shoe onto the ground like that, ugly. That's ugly. That's an ugly look. That's not cute. That's not how the look goes. Moving on. Anyway. And I noticed too with OG, I'm starting to hear this. I didn't say it. I just repeated it. Girl, bye. Bye, girl. Ain't nobody buying that. Isn't that the same? That's what happened with Jackie in Malaysia, ain't it? Jackie didn't actually start the rumor, But Jackie was passing it along. So what makes you any different? Jackie was wrong, and you were wrong. And it was the same thing with Malaysia. Somebody told you that Malaysia was bleaching her skin, and you went and you fired that out. Mess. But that was okay, and you tried to defend it. It was wrong. It was wrong. You didn't know it to be true. You spread it, and you were trying to damage her. You were wrong, but you wouldn't even own up to it because you know you ain't never did nothing wrong. That's what I'm getting. You know, OG's never done anything to anyone. She's not aggressive. Her threatening to break people's face, all of that's warranted. None of that's wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. It's wrong when you do it. It's wrong when Evelyn does it. It's wrong when Tammy did it. It's wrong. Grown people ain't supposed to be running around breaking people's faces. You know why? That's why there's lawsuits. And you know when you go in there and you break somebody's face, you always lose? Because it's wrong. It's wrong. Anyway, moving on. Shaquille had actually called, and they were FaceTiming, and I thought this was kind of cool. After, you know, the turmoil that had actually happened, that where the rumor had came out that Evelyn was supposedly had dated Shaq or some old crap. And it was funny to be able to see them, like, laugh it off. And they were making a joke about it. You know, it's like water under a bridge. And they moved on from that. So that was like a good thing. I got a chuckle out of that. At the point that Malaysia and Kristen were getting ready to leave the house, OG stated, there's colorist issues with this whole group. It's everybody. And Jackie was like, wait a minute. You took me too? She's like, everybody. When I tell you, honey, that Jackie, Jackie was like, it took Jackie off, you know, off guard. She's like, wait a minute now. You know, Jackie riding, trying to put things back together. That shit stumped Jackie in her space and blew up. And Jackie was like, wait a minute. And then she said the thing that I thought was the most ridiculous, that really kind of made me not want to hear nothing else that OG had to say. Because it's like, at this point, I feel like, yes, some things have happened to you, OG, that were not nice. They were not kind. And the thing with the monkey with Evelyn, yeah. It just kind of is what it is. It was out of order. But girl, if you feel this way, seriously, why you there, sis? And I don't want to hear no shit about, oh, she got a contract. All contracts can be broken. They can be broken. They never words on paper. And there's always a loophole. That's why you have entertainment lawyers. That is their job, to get you out of the contract when things are so unbearable like this. Because this is unbearable to you. You ain't got no business there. You ain't got no business there. Anything that makes you as miserable as this got you crying every day and all, it's worth it to pay some money to get out of it. But when she said, if a parent tells their child, wake your black ass up, that's colorist. You know you're doing too much, right? You're doing too much. And I want to see who all going to be in the comments trying to uphold that bullshit, because that's what that is. That's some bullshit. And I want to read it. I want to see it. If you feel that, please write it down in the comments. Please write that in the comments. It ain't about no argument. I really want to see how many people really agree with that. That every time you've ever heard a parent say, get your black ass up out of that bed, that was colorist. I want to hear the people that ain't never heard that. How many black folks ain't never heard nobody say, get your black ass up out of that bed? So that was very interesting. Very interesting. And she said that, and that's colors. That's a colorist statement. Because most person who's saying that to you is your black parent. And there are some colorist parents. But every time you hear that you gotta be on guard because that's the colorist state. Oh, yeah, okay, whatever. And this confessional of hers and all this wordplay, quit playing, OG. Quit playing. It's getting tired now, sis. It's getting tired and it's getting draining. And yeah. I thought it was just me, but then shortly after that you start watching, it was crumbling around. Everybody's a little tired of the bullshit. Anyway, moving on. So then after the girls leave, they get as far as getting in the car. Next thing you know, there's a blow up between Nia, Nuria, and OG. She starts really letting them have it. They're going back and forth because they're like asking, okay, so is everything okay? Y'all seem to have actually reached some common ground. I saw y'all hugging because they were outside and stuff. I saw y'all hugging, so I figured that everything was solvent. And she kind of got nasty with them. And they pushed back. They didn't just take it. They pushed back. And they were having some discussion, and the discussion got heated. And then the old OG showed up, and she told Nuria, if you don't, she said, you're not letting me finish my statement. But she was doing the same thing. Y'all were in a back and forth, so you were doing the same thing. But then she told her, if you don't let me finish, then you're going to get finished. She ain't aggressive, huh, y'all? You're going to get finished. What are you going to do? You going to fuck her at? So there you back to that again, huh? You ain't learned nothing. Now you back to threatening folks again, huh? Girl, you a mess, child. A whole mess. And then after that is when the tea spill happened. I wanted to choke both of them. Both of them. Nia and OG. They get to going back and forth, and they arguing now because here these two heifers know each other. But see, you two done been in this house for a little less than 48 hours, but y'all pretending like y'all ain't never met each other before. If I was Jackie, I'd have been pissed. I'd have threw them both out if I was Jackie. I would have asked them both to leave. Both of them. Please leave for my vacation, huh? This house is in my name, and I'm going to need you two whores to leave. Because I'd have been pissed. I cannot stand that shit. There's been more than one occasion where I have introduced somebody to somebody else, and they literally play the game like, oh, it's nice to meet you, this, that, that. And then you find out down the line, they done slept with each other. Not just knew each other, they done slept with each other. And you be like, now they even got nothing to do with me, but for real? For real? What is the harm? I mean, you that motherfucking sneaky that you got to, you ain't even got to say you slept with them. What was the harm in just saying, oh, we met before? And you ain't even got to elaborate on it no more. But to know that you have literally swapped spit and God knows what else with this person, and then to sit there and the two of you, sorry sons of bitches, act as though y'all ain't never seen each other a day in life. That says a whole lot to me about who you are as a person. That's a character check. And I've always felt that way. That is so ugly to me. That is so ugly. That is so ugly. And it does, when it happens, it puts you right on my list of the liars that I know. You're a liar and you can't be trusted. And from that point, I probably won't really trust anything you say. Everything you say will be like, it'll be taken with a grain of salt. Period. Because nobody gives a shit, you grown. You ain't got to hide nothing from nobody because you grown. But yeah, they come to find out they know each other. There was a whole bunch of stuff going on. It was a mess. OG supposedly had reached out to Nia because she had dirt on Phoebe, which we all know about that, and she wanted her to come into the reunion. She wanted to drop her on Phoebe at the reunion. Wanted to play all them little nasty games. OG is denying it. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't believe neither one of them. I don't believe neither one, 100%. I believe OG is vindictive and nasty as hell, and I believe that Nia is a damn clout chaser. I don't believe neither one of these two hoes, 100%. Y'all were both trying to use each other and playing in all of our faces at the same time, but more so Jackie's face. You was playing in Jackie's face and Jennifer. Because she stuck up in that too. You up there presenting yourself to her in a lie. You ain't who you said you are. And I really would have been feeling some kind of way. Especially Jennifer, because Jennifer ain't know them. You in the house with somebody like that, laying your head down at night, and these hoes is lying. And this is what I found out about you less than 48 hours after. Hell no. I'd have asked them, both of them hoes, to leave. Bye. Bye. Ain't nothing personal, but please leave my vacation home, honey. Get on out of here. But anyway, the two sisters was going back across the good old Maria was like, girl, well then end me then, girl. If I'm be finished, finish me then, bitch. She didn't back. See, they different. They ain't back down. And then they from New Orleans. And she's like, child, ain't nobody. Everybody got hands. So what's good, honey? And this Jason, I don't give a damn about her playing no goddamn football. I said, come on, New Orleans, honey. Come on, Nola. Anyway. But then they was like, honey, one lie, some more lies, thirsty. Yeah, real thirsty, girl. You parched. I was cracking up. I said, but so are you. But so are you. And the sister knew too. So, girl, now I'm looking at all three of y'all. Funny style. Funny style. And if I was Jackie, Christie, I'd have asked all y'all to go. I would have. I sure would have. Anyway, so, child, Kristen and Malaysia sucked up the tea, honey, because they got back out the car. So trying to start their arguing. They was out there ear hustling, honey. And then Jackie and the two sisters end up going up to the other house. As Malaysia got up there, they called down. They was being nosy. That's all. Them hoes was being nosy. They said, girl, come on, y'all come on up here, honey, so they can get the tea. They came on up there, and they was giving them tea. And in the midst of all this, Shaunie was over there cooking. And now, Shaunie, I'm going to call you out on some reality TV stuff because you are an executive producer. Shaunie, you sat over there and act like you ain't know none of this. And I know good and well you know something about casting. And I know you know that there's some background story between Nia and the OG. Or Nia and not so much Nia and OG, but Nia and Phoebe. Nia and Phoebe. You know there's more to than they just, oh, these just these random girls. So I kind of looked at Shaunie and I was like, you playing both your hats. This is where the problem comes in with being an executive producer and also being a part of your reality show. Because if you want us to believe that the show just dropped that in on you, Shaunie Oneal, Shaq's ex-wife, and you ain't know nothing about it, girl, you playing in our face. You playing in our face. It makes you look very inauthentic. But Shaunie decided at that point, she said she was over it and she don't want to talk to OG. She don't want to do none of that. She's bouncing. She gone. She leaving. I said, okay. So, by the time she did that, child, now people feeling some kind of way. Because you're the queen bee. And she leaving. So Jackie got real bothered. And Jackie said, I'm going on back down here to this house and see what's going on. I'll be back. And remember, we kind of put together that it's like a drive. It ain't like just a old 1-2, honey, up the hill, down the hill. It's a drive. So this was going on for hours. Jackie goes back down to the house. And the time she did that, Shaunie left. And Evelyn left with her. Evelyn said, well, I wanted to make sure she knew I had her back. No, you didn't have to leave. Y'all wasn't even going to the same place. But they left. They both left. Anyway, Jackie gets down there, and Jackie gets to talking to OG. Jackie done got half high at this point because you could tell Jackie was she in her juice, honey, and Miss Jackie's feelings was hurt. I felt bad for Jackie at that point. Jackie's feelings was hurt, and she was pissed, and she was like, "Listen, damn this bullshit. This some bullshit. Y'all done pulled some wool over on my eyes. Y'all done pulled a fast one. I don't know what's going on. Now Shaunie done left. I'm in the middle trying to make things right, and here y'all holding information like y'all playing me for a goddamn fool." Jackie was pissed, and I understood it. And I looked at OG. I said, I know good and well you ain't hashtag BP and PP, Miss OG. Not BP and PP, OG. She got the backpedaling and carrying on to. No, Jackie, see, I said there was colorism issues within the whole group. I mean, that was me too. That was about me too. And even old Jennifer had to stand up. But she said, what? Wait a minute. No, sis, hold up. What you talking about, Willis? And I had to kind of laugh because I was like, Jennifer, listen, the thing with you, sis, what come around, go around, because you was being old nasty bitch on the first part of this trip, and you was making Jackie miserable as hell in the beginning of this trip. And now your ass got issues and don't want to go to the other house, so you got to stand on that, and you got stuck down there with evil ass OG. See, what comes around goes around. You made for a bad time for Jackie and ended up with a bad time of OG. You was stuck down there with that crazy ass woman and her mean ass shit. And I said, now you try to act like you all innocent. Girl, shut up, Jennifer. Shut up. A mess. Ain't nobody got no issues. The only person that can afford to be mad right now is Jackie goddamn Christie. Period. And Jackie is pissed. You hear me? She is completely and utterly pissed. She told her, listen, that allegation got up on her skin. She said, I am not colorist. I have never been colorist. And I'm not even going for that bullshit. Now, I was trying to work with you and all that. Now you going to stand in my face telling me, you know, you ain't trying to meet them halfway and everything is no, 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 no. I ain't going for this bullshit. I said, come on, Jackie. Come on, Jackie. And that's where we kind of ended up at. Everybody on their way going home. So the trip basically is over. We ended there. So the other two girls are still up at the other house. Jackie got to go back up there to get them. And when she, you know, they sent a message and she knows that Shaunie and Evelyn are gone, but she don't know that Malaysia and Kristen's ready to roll too. She's going to be completely pissed when she finds out that Kristen and Malaysia is leaving too. She's going to be pissed. Pissed. This whole trip is just went straight to hell. But yeah, I feel bad for Jackie. In this, I feel bad for Jackie. This is one time when Jackie was being really genuine and girl got left on the outside and had done been made a play, done been made to look a fool. And I felt bad for Jackie. But anyway, it was interesting. It was a good episode. I mean, it was flipping and twisting and turning. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But Shaunie, I was looking at you funny, girl, because you do. You do, girl. You brought it on home. Anyway, all right, we got some things to talk about for the next couple days. Hit it in the comments. I'll be reading. I'll talk to you all later, honey. And remember what I said. Remember what I said. Honestly and seriously. Don't be sitting around arguing with nobody. Somebody tell you you ugly. Just know and just laugh. Chuckle. Because if somebody they think you're ugly. There's always somebody that thinks you're ugly. But you know for yourself, somebody think their ass is ugly too. So it ain't nothing but a kiki. I'll talk to y'all later.